What up, guys? Spartan85. Welcome to a day one tutorial how to survive or not survive, depending on how good you are and how good I am, which it's sometimes not very good, but I'm going to show you guys, well, basically how I play, and I'm going to try to explain as much as I possibly can for you guys. I know there's a lot of new players still trickling into this game, and I have a ton of questions about how do I do this, what is this for, and I figured the best way to explain some of this stuff is just to start fresh and show you guys. So real quick, I do want to show you, if you are starting, you can continue games here. This is where you load the games. You can also go into manage saves. I'll show you guys that in just a second. You can also join a game. You can do, you can search for different worlds if you want. Here's all the different worlds. We're going to join a multiplayer world. If you see one that says one of two, that is Xbox Series S. And then if you see one of four, that's Xbox. I am playing on Xbox. I have a PlayStation controller next to me, so I'm going to try to tell you guys the different button mapping for each console. But FYI, if you're on PlayStation, you're going to see, it's on PS5, you're going to see one of four or three of four. Everything's going to be four, basically. But yeah, that tells you how many people's in it, what map they're in. You can look at the different settings they have, what day they're on, day 97. If they're on vanilla settings, means they're basically just like straight the basic settings and stuff like that. So some of them have requires active EAC, which I think that's all turned off right now anyway. This is the password here. If you want to join a world that has a password, that means they have a password. Anything that doesn't have that little lock on there, you can join without a password. So FYI, I want to show you guys that real quick. Go to new game. This is what it will look like when you start a brand new game. I do also want to show you guys, and Rat Dog and Skippy did really good tutorials on this. If you want to see more in depth, I'm just going to cover it real quick. It only lets you have 2 game saves. So I have one right now, and I've archived another one. So let's go into, I'll just go here, just go to manage saves. And if you want to see where your worlds are, it's going to say in the total size right here. And then you can go up to this little bar here and flip over. So I have one that's archived right here. So if you want to restore this, this is actually my stream that I do on YouTube. You can restore it. So now it's restored. So when you go back to continue, it is there, stream. And then if you want to archive that, just go back here. You have to find the world it's tied to, which is 8K4. And now you can archive it. That'll take it off. It's still there, but you just can't load it right now. So anyway. So if you're having trouble starting a new game, you might have to archive one of your games. Anyway, let's start a brand new world. I'm just going to call this one, let's call it Tut for tutorial. We're going to do pre-gen 6K1, and basically, Navezgane is like your basic world that the devs made. I don't recommend it for new players just because the traders are so spread out from everybody. But if you're not, you really have to have a vehicle, honestly, to get, and it's an 8K map, it's a very big map, but if you're just doing single player by yourself, I don't recommend Navezgane. Try one of these 4K maps, and 4K stands for how big the map is. Navezgane is 8K, so let's go a 6K1. So there's 4 of each of these. You can go all the way up to 8K if you want. Let's do 6K1. I don't think I've done that one yet. And then I've explained all these settings before. If you want to see that very, I say very in depth. It's an okay in depth video. I probably could have got into more depth, but difficulty settings. I'm going to drop that down to adventurer. Server visibility. You might want to keep that friends only or not listed, just so you don't have random people jumping in. If you want random people jumping in, then put it public. Since I'm playing on the S, I only have 2 players available. But everything default is going to be pretty, I just keep everything default. If you're a brand new player, I just keep it all default. You can mess around with the blood moons. You can turn off blood moons if you want. If you don't want to have blood moons every 7 days, where the zombies come and attack you on day 7, you can turn those off. Or you can take them up to, I think, day 10. Oh, you can go all the way up to 30. It used to be only 10, but mess around with these if you want. And then you can go to advanced. Over here, there's more. Player block damage, kind of like Arc, lets you harvest or lets you destroy things a little faster. Not so much harvest, but does let you destroy things a little faster. Enemy spawning, you can turn that off. If you just want to jump into a world that just has no zombies at all, you can turn that off. I've had several people ask me, can I turn that off? So anyway, I'll put the link to the video that I'd explained all these settings, each one individually, in the video description down below, if you guys want to check that out. let's jump in and let's cover the basics of 7 Days to Die. All right, so we're gonna spawn in. Sometimes it takes just a minute, but you gotta click spawn and it'll load your world, and here we are. You're gonna spawn in. Basically, I always say you spawn in your underwear, and you used to just start immediately punching grass immediately in the legacy version. We actually spawn next to a POI. That is pretty common. There are spawn points usually in each world that the devs kind of put where you can spawn. But anyway, what you have to do is hold, you can hit B on Xbox or circle on PlayStation. This will open up your main crafting inventory menu, and then you have everything at the top up here too. And you'll want to go to challenges, or you can also hold B or the circle button, and here's your radio menu here. So you have chat, crafting, character, map, skills, quest, challenges, players, and creative. You have creative mode on, which apparently I do. I did not mean to turn that on, but we have a creative menu on. You can play with that if you want. If you're a brand new player, you can load things in like a helmet light mod or, you know, different things to mess around with. But anyway, let's go back to challenges. And you have to activate this first one. So let's activate it. You press Y or triangle to do it. And then here's your initial quest. These trader quests right here is what you're going to do to unlock the first trader. He's going to tell you his location. So first thing is gather plant fibers. You can see they're all kind of listed here. So you just right trigger on Xbox and PlayStation, and you want to punch this grass. This is going to give you plant fibers here. Now, I like to grab a few extra plant fibers just to craft some more armor here in a minute, and I'll show you why. You got to gather wood. So you can just go around and punch these little trees right here. You also have to pick up stones, and you just push Y or triangle to pick these up. You just have to gather them. You can also, if you come across trash like this and you can search it, you can go ahead and search it if you want. I got some cloth in there. Cloth is used to make duct tape and splints and all kinds of things in this game. Early game, we're going to be harvesting a lot of cloth. And so once you get everything else harvested, you just have one thing. You can kind of just follow these little yellow things right here to tell you where the stones are. So let's gather all the stones. So our first thing now is done. We have to craft a stone axe. So go here, and it actually has it highlighted for you. So you can push A on Xbox or X on PlayStation, and that'll select the item. Then you can hold Y or triangle, and you can kind of see the little arrows pop up, the little D-pad buttons. So you got to hold Y or triangle, and then you can craft it. You can also track it if you want. If you track it, at the top right, it'll show you the items you need to craft that particular item. So stone, plant fiber, and wood. So let's go to, let's say we want to make some arrows. You can go ahead and track this. You have to craft a stone axe first. So to do that, but let's see if it'll do it for torch. So no, see, it won't. Okay. Actually, because we don't have it selected. So let's try that. So you have to gather feathers to do that. I don't know if it'll show up or not. I don't think it will, but anyway, it'll tell you what you need to craft it. That's kind of nice if you're trying to craft one thing in particular. You can track it, and it'll show up. So let's take that off. Let's go ahead and craft our stone axe. So now what you can do is you can push A or X to bring it down to your inventory like this, or you can push down on the R3, which is the right stick. Push down on the right stick, and it'll bring it down to your inventory just like that. Or you can move it wherever you want to move it. So now pushing the right bumper or the left bumper will cycle your tool belt. I'm going to call this the tool belt at the bottom. It's also called a hot bar, but for my sake, I'm going to call it a tool belt. So you can cycle between those things. This little paper here, you can read this if you want. It's the note from the Duke of Navezgane if you want to. I just usually drop it. What I do. Now we need to harvest wood, and notice that it says harvest wood. So you have to go over here. You have to whack this tree with this stone axe. That's right trigger to harvest. You can also repair using left trigger. We'll get to that in a little bit. You can go ahead and cut this all the way down if you want. If you cut down a tree all the way, it gives you a tree seed, a pine seed. So you can, if you want to, if you're by your base, you can go ahead and plant that. Highlight it in your tool belt and press left trigger, and you just planted a tree. There you go. Now we need to gather stone, and you actually have to harvest stone. So let's see if we can find some. Sometimes they can be, oh, there's one over here. They look like this over here. And it's not going to tell you where it is on the map. So you just have to find one of these stones like this. There's iron. That's iron right there, by the way. walk over to it and show you guys. There's iron. You can get stone from that too. But let's go ahead and harvest this stone. We need to gather 5. I usually just go ahead and break down this stone completely because it will give you a little bit of stone. You're going to need it to craft some arrows here in a little bit, and you always need stone to repair stuff. So I usually just take this all the way down. I know it takes a minute. Boom, there we go. So we have 25 stone just from that. Now we need to craft the primitive outfit, as you can see. So I pushed B, I went to our crafting. I'm going to press A or X, and then we're going to highlight it, and we're going to craft it. And then it's going to go to your inventory. Now you can highlight this, you can hold Y or triangle, and you can wear it. You can also modify it. So if you get some modifiers, we'll cover that later in this series. Like you can put cosmetic, which is paint here, or you can put modifiers here, like extra, what are they called? Pocket mods. You can also put the little AI chips here too. We'll get to that later. But right now, let's go ahead and wear it. Now, if you go to your character, I'm going to hold the B or the circle and go to my character here. You can also go to the very top, go to character. You can select all these right here. But if you go to your character, as you can see, I'm only wearing one thing. Just primitive outfit. That's all I'm wearing. And the game will not tell you to craft any more armor after this. This is why I said to gather that plant fibers now. So what I recommend doing is going back to your crafting, clicking on this armor, this clothing piece, and making the rest of your armor. So you have gloves, you have a hood, you have shoes. I recommend getting all of this because each one of this has light armor rating. It has 8. This one has 8. It's a 7.9, 7.9. It's going to help you not get stunned. It's going to help you take a little less damage. And you're not going to be halfway naked. So now that you have all this on, you can go back to your character. This is where you see your armor right here. As you can see, I look pretty badass. You can take this off if you want. You can just push down on the right stick. The R3 is what I call it. Down on the right stick. You can take it off. You can also modify them right from here. If you want, you can also swap them out just by pushing that button. Pretty easy. Next up is craft the wooden club. So push A to select it, or X on PlayStation, hold Y or triangle, then you're going to craft it. Now you have your first melee weapon. I'm going to push down on the right stick. I like to keep this next to my stone axe, because these are the big things I'll be using, the stone axe and the club. So you have a standard attack, which is right trigger, like that. You also have a power attack, which is left trigger. That uses more stamina, so keep that in mind. Your stamina is at the bottom left, which is the blue box. As you can see, I'm running, it's going down. And then the red, of course, is your health. And if you look below the tool belt, there's a green and a blue bar. The green is your hunger, blue is your thirst. And we have 1 can of food we can eat. And to eat it, you just hold Y or triangle and you hit use, or the water, you can, same thing. So now we need to craft a primitive bow. So we can go ahead and do that. We're going to highlight it and craft it. Then we'll bring this down. Same thing, I like to bring this over here. Move everything over. Now we need to gather some feathers and craft some arrows. So this is what I like to recommend here. The game is showing you, this is the only time the game will ever show you where feathers are. So I like to come up on a hill and try to look around, see if there's any other bird's nest. We have one there, we have one there. That's all I'm seeing. So, but the game's kind of saying, hey, dummy, here's all the feathers. So let's go ahead and you hit Y. You can, and this one has an egg in it too. You can eat eggs. They do not give you dysentery. It gives you a little bit of food and a little bit of health. So if you're hurting on health or food, you can go and eat the egg. I recommend keeping them though, and we can make bacon and eggs later, or boiled eggs later, or I like to call it snake and eggs. And now we need to craft stone arrows. So we're going to go here. Now here is where you can select how many you want to craft. This one here tells you you can craft 6 all the way up, or you can select it. I just craft as many as I can. I only have 6 feathers, so that's why I can only craft 6 feathers. So let's go ahead and craft as many arrows as I can. Now these can just stay in your inventory right here. So if you go to your bow, the reload button is X or square. There's your reload button. You can also hold it and select different types of arrows. Right now, all we have is stone. The next one you'll have is iron. So make sure you're loaded. I see a tree stump over here. So early game, If you see tree stumps, I recommend coming over here and whacking these with your stone axe. You're going to get a little bit of wood, but you have a chance of getting a jar of honey. So early game, I highly recommend taking apart any of these you see. We didn't get a jar of honey, but you need a jar of honey to cure an infection, and I almost guarantee you guys will get an infection early on. I know I always do. If you see bird's nest, go ahead and grab them too. I grab as many as I can early game, grab those feathers. You can go ahead and make more stone arrows if you find them. I like to just keep them on hand. Okay, and then next up, challenges window, we are done. So go to back to your challenges window. Then you have to redeem all of these. So let's just hit Y, 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 or triangle, 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 all the way till you redeem them all. Now, all of these are unlocked. So I recommend keeping an eye on these. That's just, hey, come see the trader, basically is what it's saying. So I recommend keeping an eye on these, because if you unlock these, you get XP or a trader reward. Sometimes you can use these to find specific things, like you can, if you're holding the stone axe and you need some honey, you can track it and it'll tell you where some tree stumps are, but they have to be in line of sight. Can do that, but there's different challenges in here, and they are a good way of telling you how to play the game. Like there's harvest cobblestone, harvest pipes, kind of telling you how to craft things. You can also, let's say here's the workbench, you can track it. There's everything you need to craft the workbench. Let's go to the forge. You can track it. There's craft forged iron. Let me find the forge here. Here's the forge. There's everything you need for the forge. You can just track it. So they are very helpful to use. Now the trader, I screwed this up. Let's go to quest, which is right here. Now you can track and untrack these quests. I'm going to go and track it with this compass that turns it on. Now you can see that it's tracked. And we're about 700 meters away from the trader. So along the way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search all these birds' nests and gather all these. Now this is where I want to say also, if you guys want to choose to play a different way here, you can. You don't have to go straight to the trader. I'm going straight to the trader because I like to do quests. If you knock out 10 quests, you get the bicycle. But if you don't want to do trader quests, you don't have to. You can just start raiding houses or building a base, start harvesting resources. This is an open world survival game. You can play it however you want. I'm just showing you guys the way I play. As you're going along, I know Rat Dog loves to get cotton when he's on his way to the trader. You can harvest this cotton. Grab another bird's nest here. You can also harvest this chrysanthemum. This makes red tea. I do not have it unlocked yet, and I'll cover that in just a second. There's more cotton. Grab that. This is yellow or golden flower. It makes yellow tea or goldenrod tea. They're great they give you a little bit more thirst quenching, basically, and kind of like a drinking a Gatorade, basically. It's a little better on the thirst. One of them does cure dysentery. I think it's goldenrod tea. But if you grab this cotton, you can go here and go to recipes, and you can craft cloth, which is nice to have. And then if you have enough cloth, you can go to recipes, and you can make a bandage. I need just 2 more. Let's go ahead and craft a bandage. These are nice to have. The game gives you 1 first aid bandage, which stops bleeding and gives you health. But if you use that and you need a way to stop bleeding, you can have just a regular bandage. It doesn't give you any health, but it stops the bleeding. And then, as you can see, we have these tracked to gather wood. These are snowberries right here. You can grab these. Actually, that's not a snowberry. I thought that was a snowberry. It's not. I take that back. If you see snowberries, you can grab them to eat, though. Let's go ahead and search this car. I recommend searching everything. This is our first book. It says Improved Salvage Tool Crafting. So go ahead and read that. And then if you push down on the left stick, it'll get everything. This is a sewing kit. It's used also to stop bleeding and stop suture or stop lacerations, short arm pipe, and bone. So I also recommend, let me turn this off. That's going to drive me nuts. This one here. Oh, crap. Okay, we're going to fight. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to do a power attack first, like this. And try to knock them down. And then I just go to normal attacks until they die, like that. That's what I do. Well, for some reason, I have these selected. So I can read a magazine. Okay, I can redeem that. Okay, cool. So yeah, for some reason, I have one of these cracked. I don't know why. So that's why it's showing that. I also recommend getting those, harvesting the gore on the ground because it gives you bone. It also gives you rotting flesh and nitrate, which is what you need to make farm plot blocks eventually. Once you have 5 bones, you can craft a bone knife. That's what you'll need to harvest animal bodies. And it gives you a little better harvest on stuff. Oh, we came across a farm. That's awesome. Another zombie, so I'm going to go power attack. Try to knock him down. I also try to back up after I hit. So I hit, back up, hit, back up, hit, back up until he dies. These farms are great to get. Come in here on the green ones, there's corn. So just grab your stone axe or even your fist. Grab this corn. And you have an easy food source. You can, once you get a cooking grill, you can grill it on the campfire. Keep in mind, there are sometimes boars that like to live in here, though. So if you hear something growling at you, it's probably a boar. And have fun trying to kill him. It's pretty rough early game. But grab all this corn that you can. Also, there's a wolf in there. So if you go in there early game, be prepared to deal with a wolf. Okay, where is our trader at? Let's find him. Let's go back to quest. Track him again. And we're going to head to the trader. Like I said, along the way, you can pick things up. You can murder zombies if you want. Pick up these birds' nests. Okay, real quick, I do want to go over the magazines real quick. And so if you go to skills, and after, actually, I should have said this before, but after you complete the initial quest, you get 4 skill points to use. So this is completely up to you. What do you want to use it on? I do recommend kind of picking a skill tree or a melee tree to go down. You can go down to spears if you want. Put some points into spears. This will allow you to find more spear books. It'll also make spears better. You can go to strength that has Pummel Pete, which is clubs, or Skull Crushers, which is sledgehammers. And like I said, each one will let you find more books to be able to craft better of those items. There's also shotguns there. Pack Mule is a really good one to go into early game. It gives you a little more carrying capacity. You can see right here, if you have items down here, once this becomes full, you'll become encumbered, which hurts your stamina and makes you slower. So keep that in mind. So let's go back down to skills. If I can go to the right place, it's over here. I like to go Pack Mule early on, just to give you a couple extra slots. So we just completed another challenge just by doing that. Another one is the Brawler, which is Fist. It'll help you find more knuckle wraps and iron knuckles and stuff like that. Deep Cuts is a good one. That's for knives. That's a real fun one. And then this is for batons, Electrocutioner. So you kind of choose which one you want, what tree you want to go down. I recommend if you're a brand new player, just go into clubs. Clubs is probably the best one early game. So we're going to throw a point into Pummel Pete. This will make our clubs a little bit better, our attacks better, our stamina is less, and we'll find more club books. And then another good one to go into is Miner 69er. It'll let you harvest, let you destroy blocks faster, and find more mining items in loot. So there's also a good one to go into is Lucky Looter. They'll have your loot a little better. I like that one early game. Daring Adventurer is okay. I also like Advanced Engineering, which will let you find more workstation books. I'm going to go into Advanced Engineering, and we have one more spot to go into. And let's say you go into Advanced Engineering and you can't buy that second one. See, the Tinkerer is locked. You have to put a point into Intellect to unlock the next one. I think you have to go Tier 3 Intellect to unlock the next Advanced Engineering. Let's go into, since we already went into Strength, let's go Master Chef. That's a pretty, actually, let's go Miner 69er. I like that one. That's 4 good ones to go into early game. And then let's go back into skills. That's what I meant to do. If you go to this far right, these are all your magazines and what you've read. You can keep track of what you've read. I've only read the salvage tools. And then what they're called and what they boost. So boost loot odds for salvage operations. That's your wrenches and stuff. There's blades, there's bows, there's spears. But basically it tells you what the book is and how many you have to read to unlock the next tier. So let's say handguns. I have to read one book to unlock the pipe pistol level 2. To be able to craft it. And then there's the pistol, there's the 44 Magnum, there's the SMG, there's the desert, all that great stuff. There's machine guns, robotics, electrician, vehicles is a big one. There's your bicycle and wheels. There's your mini bike. You have to read 20 books. Workstations. There's your dude collector. You have to read 2 of them. You have to read 10 to unlock the workbench, 30 for the cement mixer, 50 for the chem station, and 75 for the crucible. So that's why putting points into workstations is a really good one early game. That's a Lieutenant Dan. Sounds like it. I've yapped enough. Let's get to the trader. Also, if you see these mailboxes, this one's open. You can't search it. That's where you'll find books in the mailboxes. So I highly recommend keeping an eye on mailboxes. Here's one that's closed. We'll search it, and we have a book already. Sledgehammer crafting. Hey, I call this guy Slim Shady. He's dead. There's another closed one. So like I said, if you see these closed... I don't know why all these little yellow things keep popping up. I really don't. Oh, this one's bleeding damage. Spears have 25% more damage to cause bleeding damage. Nice. So those are like your, and I'll show you guys where those are. You go to skills. Then you go to the second from the last, which is perk books. Those are perk books. So each one doesn't unlock something to craft. Sometimes they do unlock something to craft, but they give you different perks you can unlock just by reading them. And there's all the different book trees you can kind of look at what each one does. So you can kind of read through those if you want. So there's skill books and then there's perk books to keep an eye on. So, but like I said, I wouldn't run through this trailer park. There is a dog there. Dogs can be very hard to deal with early game. They take away a lot of damage. There's usually a dog in here too. Grab this mailbox. Sometimes all you have to find is paper. That's sometimes all you get. Let's get to the trader. Let's find out where he is. And the reason is I like to usually set up a base close to the trader. If you're going to be picking up jobs and you're going to be, selling stuff to the trader and stuff, it's nice to be close. Plus, you can loot him early, and he's got some good stuff there. If you want to harvest these for nitrate and rotten flesh, I recommend using the knife. So that's what we have the knife for. We got nitrate and rotting flesh. If you get enough... Let's just go, and here's another thing you can do. You can hover over a certain item and click on recipes. So let's hold the Y and the triangle, go to recipes. There's the farm plot block. So you can craft one pretty early. If you get enough rotting flesh, clay, and nitrate, you can craft one of these. So, but yeah, you can see what you can craft. If you just go to recipes, you can kind of do that. It's something to do at night when you're trying to kill time. That's a good way to learn the game, is just to see what different things are used to craft. Sit at your base while zombies are kind of walking around. There's more feathers. The first trader is Trader Wrecked. You can turn off his profanity filter in settings under audio if he cusses a little bit too much for you. I think I just keep mine off just because I turned it off and just haven't changed it back. Go ahead and loot his entire base before you talk to him, though. You can loot these. There's a workstation book. Read that. We can now craft the Dew Collector. We just unlocked it there at the bottom. So I recommend getting one of those down. That costs 100 plastic parts, though. There's some food. Go ahead and eat it. The game gives you murky water, so you're going to have to craft that in the campfire, but you need a cooking pot. And usually I just buy one from the trader. Normally, you can craft one in the forge also. Needle and thread. You cannot tear apart the trader. You'll get that notification. You cannot, so you can't hack these apart. You can only search things. Some more cloth, oil. Oil and forged iron is used to make repair kits, which is what you need to repair your weapons later on. Hey, a tier 3 wooden club. Nice. See, just finding that is awesome. So what I'll do is I'll switch these two out. And then I'll scrap this old one. You can sometimes sell your old item. Check the sell price at the top right up here. Check your sell price. It doesn't sell for anything, so I'm going to scrap it. Scrapping it gives you basically the base of that item. So I'm going to scrap it, and it gives me 3 wood. It tells you what it gives you. So if you scrap something, it'll tell you. So you can scrap these bones right here. You can't scrap bones, my bad. I thought you could. You could back in the day, but anyway. Maybe I'm thinking of a bone knot that you could scrap. I might be telling you guys wrong. But now we have a tier 3 club. A little bit better. A little bit better damage. A little bit better stamina usage. Let's go ahead and search this truck. Okay, bullet tips, gas, and blueberry seed. Nice. Search both of these. Usually you can get a workstation book out of here. I usually scrap these nails early on just for the iron. It gives you a bunch of iron. It gives me 24 iron. And iron you need for forged iron early game. There's forged iron there. So scrap items is complete. Like I said, keep an eye on challenges. Here we go. I'm going to redeem that. And I get XP just from doing that. So just from doing those. There's a bird's nest here we can search. Not finding a lot of eggs already. Chem station right here. Zombies cannot come into the base, so you're completely safe here, but you will get booted out at 9:45. So keep that in mind. Don't stay here. You can look at his vending machines. He has water and other hydration things in there. Here is the food, and then there's the candies. Sugar Butts is better for bartering, gets you 10% bartering. Hackers, Covert Cats. The ones I buy the most is the lock-picking candy and the eye candy, which gives you better loot. That's usually the ones I buy the most. He sometimes does have some stuff you can search inside. I'm going to scrap those nails. Clay soil is great to find early game. I'll grab that cloth. Sometimes there's stuff up here. Sometimes. Whole bunch of stuff. So if you find a schematic like this, you can sell it for 160 or read it. So reading the schematic will teach you how to craft the muzzle brake mod schematic, which is you put on a weapon. So diverts the propellant gases to reduce recoil. I usually read them early on just to have them, but once you find one that you've read, the book will be open instead of closed. They're at the top, and I'll try to show you guys that in a minute, what it looks like. I can't search that. Okay, let's go say hi to Rect. Hi, buddy. So his initial quest, he's going to give you a stone shovel. Just a tier 1 stone shovel. You're going to accept it. You're going to say, do you have any special jobs? He's going to give you an intro to Bird Supplies job. So we'll take that. You can sell him stuff if you want. I don't really have... this money you can sell. It sells for 12. I don't really have much I can sell. As you can see, I am encumbered now. So if you look down at the bottom left, I have a 1 next to the guy holding a box. That means I'm encumbered by 1. Can move stuff down to your tool belt if you want, just to get unencumbered. So what I usually do here is I like to knock out this quest for 1, but I also like to put down some storage just to get unencumbered. Let's take care of Lieutenant Dan here. Try to go for headshots if you can. Got another one here. I call this guy Harold. Community named him a long time ago. Back in the old Legacy version, the community named this guy Harold, so it's just stuck. So what I like to do is kind of find a place near the trader. Maybe like, let's go over here. Go to your crafting, and then right here will be a wood storage crate. So I like to craft one of these. Bring it down to your tool belt right here. And just place it down. Now, place it down, you can go ahead and name it if you want. So let's just call it junk for now. And I like to just put everything in here just real quick. So just to get stuff out of my inventory. Now you can push down on the right, on the R3, down on the right stick, and it quickly moves things. You can also put everything in there, move all items to loot container, or you can move items to fill up existing container stacks. So if you already have, let's say, let's bring this down here. If you push this, that murky water should go in to that stack. There you go. So that's what you can do to quickly sort items if you need to. Let's go ahead and craft some more arrows while I'm here. No, I haven't used the bow and arrow much so far in this tutorial, but I promise we'll get there. That just kind of lightens your inventory a little bit. Now let's go knock out this buried supplies quest. This will basically open up the trader completely to you. I recommend grabbing these tires. They are an easy way to get some plastic parts, and you need, like I said, 100 plastic parts to craft the dew collector. And the dew collector will give you water. Sneaking over trash makes no sound. This is a great book. As we get into POIs, I don't know if we'll do that today or tomorrow, but you'll see that sneaking over trash wakes up zombies a lot, especially in this newer version. The older version, not so much. As you're going, you can check out these little POIs. There's sometimes some food in here. I'll search this cooler. Like there's a pumpkin. Search these little POIs. You can also harvest these little stacks. You'll find these in POIs a lot. These little stacks, they're different colors. You can harvest these to get clay, soil, stone, sometimes cobblestone rocks. So I recommend grabbing those stacks whenever you see them. They're just really easy resources. Well, let's knock this out. It is 6 o'clock. Usually I'm way ahead of this, but I'm explaining everything. I'm trying to explain everything to you guys. So let's go knock out this intro to buried supplies. Now, instead of doing this, you could start building a base or clearing out a POI for a base. But let's knock this out so it's done. A couple bird's nest. I'll grab these. Egg. Plastic parts, nice. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to start this. It's going to do a little circle here, and basically this initial buried supplies is usually right below the center right here. So usually what I'll do is I'll just kind of dig right here. Not quite the center, but it's kind of close. And as you get better tools, digging will become easier, I promise. So it's just, we have a stone tool right now that really sucks. Okay, nothing there. Let's dig right here. It's usually about 3 blocks down. Let's dig right here. This is a voxel game, so you can destroy any block, basically in the game, except for bedrock. Sometimes it doesn't hit the block you want it to. Sometimes it doesn't. So to keep that in mind, it does get a little frustrating. Sometimes you're hitting one block and it's not hitting that particular block. So I think it's going to be right here, I think. Let's see if we can get this block knocked out. Like I said, it's not hitting the block I want it to. There it is. Now, once you grab this, a zombie will spawn in, so have an exit. And now you can do that just by taking out the top piece right here. And you can jump out. Let's see if I can make that jump. Yeah, I can make that jump. Okay. Just make sure you have an exit. The zombie will fall on your head. Left stick, L3 to grab everything. Quickly get out of that hole. Like I said, one zombie spawns in. I will use the bow here. So you can right trigger to aim, left trigger to zoom in. Like that. There you go. It reloads automatically. If it doesn't reload for some reason, you push X or square to reload. Headshots are what you want. You can pick up your arrows after you're done. So try, or some of the arrows at least. Usually can. You can also keep an eye out for maybe a small little POI to call your home if you want. Usually a tier 1. Let's go up to this one here. This will tell you the tier. This is a top storage building. This is actually a pretty good place to call your home day 1. It's a tier 0. What I mean by that is at the top right, it has no skulls. So tier 0 is the lowest tier. It's basically like a starter POI, basically. So I would recommend doing a tier 1 as your initial base, just so you don't get murdered going into the POI right off the bat. So keep that in mind. Let's go to this one. I'll show you this one real quick. Hogzilla is a tier 3, has 3 skulls. So that's going to be, you're going to have some ferals. You're going to have some pretty tough zombies in there, even on just day 1. Let's grab these plastic parts. Let's search this trash. I try to loot everything early game. Everything is useful. Everything. I do drop things in my playthroughs a lot. I get yelled at a lot for that, but I will drop things, or I will try to take everything I possibly can. So we go back to the trader. Let's run in here real quick. And I don't know if I L3 to sprint. I think I said that earlier, but L3 to sprint.
Well,
So this is his initial, he's going to have this for every playthrough you have and for everybody.
he wants to be paid.
So you have to choose what you want to go into. Baton is the one melee weapon he gives you. So that's the electrocutioner. Keep in mind that shotguns are tied to strength. So if you're doing sledgehammers and clubs, maybe a shotgun is good to go into. Light machine gun is the best one early game to get, though. It has the most... It's the easiest gun to use to kill zombies, basically. The pistol sucks. The rifle is a single shot, so I recommend either the shotgun, baton, or machine gun. I am going to go machine gun. And then I'm going to pick up another job. So you can do another buried supplies if you want. I like to take the next closest one, which is a fetch. Let's take the fetch.
It's a job for some good luck. You better
And then you can see if you can sell anything. I don't have anything I can sell. I have 12 coin, so...
Next time, I'll shoot you.
So these little bundles, you'll get a lot of these throughout the game in airdrops and from the trader. You just open them, and he just gave me a tier 1 pipe machine gun. So let's get that. And he gave me 15 rounds of ammo. So the first thing you're going to want to do is reload it first, which is X or square. And now we can go out. Now, normally I try to do a quest right now, but we're not going to do one right now because it is so late. But what I'll do is you can either, like I said, find a POI to call your base, or you can build a very simple one. So rise of right now, I'm just going to build a really simple one. So let's grab this bird's nest. I'm going to start gathering some wood. I have, at the bottom right, it tells you how much wood you have as you harvest. So I have 86. We're about to have 100. You also gain XP from this too, as you're hacking this thing down. So that's pretty nice. I'm going to take it all the way down. It gives me a tree seed. Let's hack down another tree. What's nice about getting the tree seeds is you can plant them next to your base to have wood nearby your base. Okay, once you have some wood gathered, you can come back over here. And what I normally do just to start off with, until I find a better POI, look, there's a zombie in there, that little cage. So go to the basics over here, and you can cycle through all this stuff if you want. There's a campfire right there. But let's go to building block, and let's craft, let's say 25. We'll craft those. I'm going to bring those down to my inventory. And your tool belt. And now you can place with left trigger. You can also go to, you can hold X or square, and you can go to shapes. You can choose all your different shapes here. You can kind of cycle through all of them right here. But for right now, we're just going to use this basic cube shape. So anywhere is fine. What I like to do sometimes, oh, I'm going to grab that bird's nest. Get an egg. Nope, nothing. What I like to do early game is just something very simple. Keep it simple, stupid, as I like to say sometimes. So I just build 4 blocks like this. And you have to go at least yay high or so. So let's go up here. You don't have to be very high. I recommend going at least 3 high, but conservation of resources is key early game in my opinion. So you're not just, grabbing, or you're just not having to harvest resources so much. Left trigger is upgrade. So you can upgrade the block. So you go from 100 to 500. Just that's the hit points of the block. So now the zombies have to do that much more to get to you. And if you have cobblestone rocks, like you see, I don't have cobblestone rocks. I think I have some in here. Thought I had some cobblestone rocks. You can craft cobblestone rocks with clay and stone. So let's grab our clay. And let's see if I can craft some cobblestone rocks. You can go to clay soil. Go to recipes. There's cobblestone rocks. Craft them. But I need a little bit more stone. So let's see if I have enough to upgrade this. Yes, I do. That's the next level right there. That's cobblestone. So that when it's saying X or when it's making that little noise, that means you need cobblestone rocks. The next level is concrete mix. And you can see that by trying to upgrade that. That's concrete mix. After concrete mix is steel, forged steel. That's a little bit longer in the game. You can buy forged steel from the trader. You can buy cobblestone rocks. You can buy concrete mix from the trader. I recommend buying all of that stuff. And I'll probably cover that in the next episode of this series. So what I do is I go here and then I'm going to make a... Go back to shapes here. Grab the ladder. Keep the ladders 2 blocks off the ground. Right here, the zombies will be able to climb. They can climb that. Put it 2 blocks off. Upgrade it. Now you can jump up here. The zombies will not be able to make that jump. Keep that in mind. Now I'm going to go back to shapes, and I'm going to grab these bars right here. Right here. And let's go... you have to go advanced. As you can see, what I'm doing... Let me show you guys this real quick. So right trigger cycles this right here. That's how you do that. You can also go to advanced, hold X or square, and go to advanced. Now you're going to have more different... You have different shapes. So right there is what I want. So place it. Now, let's say you want... Let's say... let me see here real quick. It looks like it already cycled. Let's say I want to copy this rotation. I want to copy this shape and rotation. You can do that. Let's say you want to go back to cubes. You can go to copy shape. Now you're back to cubes. Let's say you want to go back to bars. You can go to copy shape or copy shape and rotation. I'm going to go to copy shape and rotation. Right, like this. Boom. And now you just want to cycle this. You can also push X to go the other way. If you happen to pass the one you want, you can push X or square. So let's say I go past this, like that. I can push right trigger now to go back, like that. Same thing here. We're going to try to find the one that looks right, like there. And then same thing over here. I try to keep them... I push X to go back. And then these over here, you can do however you want. I'm just going to go like this. That. That. And like that. You got to keep your ladder open. Now you can go and upgrade these if you want. Let's go and upgrade these. Now these are just some place for you to stand to shoot the zombies. Is all this is. And also you can place things on this too. So this is a very simple starter night 1 base. You don't have to go crazy. You can stay here while you build a bigger base if you want. So you can stay here and then harvest resources, but this is a good place just to survive for the night. Get up here and you can hang out. You can get your bow. You can shoot down at zombies from here as they're beating on your base. Or you can drop down and fight. If you do want to resheathe the arrow, I just showed you guys this. Push X or square, you'll resheathe it like that. So let's grab let's go back here. I don't have enough wood to make a storage box, so let's go harvest some wood. There's a spider monkey right there, so keep an eye on him. He can be kind of tough. Keep an eye on your surroundings at night. It's kind of hard to see stuff at night sometimes, so... there's another bird's nest. We'll grab that. Let's harvest some wood. Just so we can make another a building block. I'm sorry, a storage box. We'll grab this tree here too. This is kind of what I do at night. I harvest, I craft, I look at my skills, I kind of plan for the next day. Or I build. Sometimes I'll build too. So let's come back over here. Let's build a wood storage crate. I can also craft some more stone arrows. I can only craft 1. We'll get that done. Bring down your storage crate. This. And I'll put this on top. Now, normally I would recommend building a campfire now too. I don't have enough stone, so let's go grab some stone. Hopefully you found a cooking pot by now. I really hope you found a cooking pot. Or you bought one from the trader. So keep that in mind. I have you can deal with zombies at night. Like I said, try to knock him down. He doesn't have yellow eyes, which means he's not feral, but try to knock him down. We have a skill point to spend. Let's see if we can find some stone. Like to make a campfire. You can also track it. Let's go to challenges. Redeem all this stuff, gives us some XP. There we go. You can go through all these if you want. Let's see if we can find... There's a bedroll. There's spikes. There's the campfire. Let's go ahead and track that. We need to gather small stones. So now all the small stones popped up for us. Now we can find all the small stones. Harold wants to come fight. That's fine. Couple power attacks to knock him down. He's dead. Having this tier 3 really helps out, though. This tier 3 club. So this used to be an intro quest. The campfire used to be. So there we go. We picked up enough stone for the campfire. So if there's something you're struggling to build, like the campfire or the forge, the dew collector, just toggle on that quest. It'll help you out a bunch. Let's grab everything out of here that we can. And to grab everything, I pushed, let's put a couple things in there. I'll show you guys that real quick. Push down on the left stick. Down on the left 3, so L3. Down on left stick, grabs everything out of a container. Okay, we got a zombie coming over. He's trying to climb the ladder, but he can't, see? So you can just shoot down arrows at him. Through these little bars. Dead. There you go. And then he did some damage to your base, so you just want to upgrade what he did. You just left trigger to upgrade it back. We'll come up here. We have our campfire. Let's bring that down. Where's my... Oh, I got to craft the campfire, don't I? Let's craft it. And let's place it. I just place it on top of there. Now, I don't have a cooking pot or a cooking grill, so I can't do a lot with this. But normally, if you have a cooking pot, you can make murky water into clean water. Sorry. So go to recipes, and there's your water there. But you have to, it says cooking pot required at the top here. So we're going to need a cooking pot for that. Sometimes you can find them in loot. This guy... I don't know if I... Oh, let's show this. We go into sneak damage. Go into sneak mode, which is down on the right stick, or R3. You can get a little extra damage against the zombies. Got 3.5 extra. Sometimes you can get insta-kill. And this guy can jump up here, though. Oh, I killed him. That sneak damage really helped out a lot. Really helped out. So remember sneak damage at night, or anytime, really. So let's go ahead and throw things in storage. Now, what I like to do, early game, I like to just have one storage box, but eventually I'll make a storage box for food and then other items. But right now, we're just going to have one. There's our tree seeds. Let's grab those. If you absolutely are starving, like I said, you can eat the eggs. Let's go and eat this can of chili. Let's drink a water. We also have a pumpkin we can eat too. All right, let's go plant these trees. Like I said, I like to keep them nearby my base, so at night I can just harvest wood whenever I need. Boom and boom. Oh, I got another one. If they're red, you can't plant them. You gotta wait for their white to turn white. Then let's look at our skills real quick. I have one skill point to burn into. So we already went into strength a little bit. We did minor 69er. We did pummel Pete. So if you want to go further into pummel Pete, you can put points into strength if you want. You can also look at some other ones if you want. Pain tolerance is a good one early game. The huntsman is a really good one early game. Let's show off the huntsman, actually. I'll go into that. If you're struggling on food, well, and I told you guys the wrong one. I meant to go into animal tracker. I did huntsman. Animal tracker, if you go into that one early game, it'll show animals on the compass when you go into sneak mode. So I meant to go into that one. That's my bad. I did the huntsman, which is still a good one. You can harvest 20% more resources from animals using any bladed tool weapon. So you can get a little more meat from the animals. I meant to go into animal tracker. That was my bad. So next we'll go into animal tracker to show you guys that. So let's go into, keep an eye on challenges. We have, that's hunt animals. Let's do that one. That one is untrack that. So I don't know why that's Yeah, kill 2 animals is what they want you to do. Keep an eye on this second tier. We don't have anything there yet. So at night, after this is done, what I'll do is sometimes just harvest some resources. So I'll kind of drop down here. And you can start gathering. This is stone here, actually. So you can go over here. Keep it away from your base so you don't fall into it. But if you start digging... Oh my god, what is that? That's a big boy. Okay, I thought that was a bear. This is one thing at night you got to deal with. Just keep in mind, he is feral. You see the yellow eyes? He's actually going to be pretty tough to deal with. A feral big boy. So I'm not even going to lead him to my base because I don't want him to tear up my base. I don't think I'm going to have enough arrows to deal with him. He does a lot of damage, but he's feral because of his orange eyes, orange yellowish eyes. So I'm probably going to use up all of my arrows on this guy. He is pretty slow, thank God. But he does a lot of block damage, so he will probably tear down my base tonight. Keep in mind, using firearms at night will attract more zombies. Try to go for headshots if you can, though. Dead! I got lucky on that. Okay, that's a zombie there. I got very lucky on that. But it will attract other zombies. So back what I was doing, kind of pick a spot away from your base, and you can dig some clay soil. Clay soil is nice for farm plot blocks or making cobblestone rocks if you want. And so I'm going to try to harvest. And you also need it for the forge too, to put into the forge and to craft the forge also. So let's just gather some clay soil. I'll gather probably about, oh, let's go for like 200 or so. Sometimes what I'll do is just dig like a little, kind of like a little mine shaft down here. But have a way out. Always have a way out. Remember that. Like I said, this is stone over here, so I'm going to actually harvest. This is really easy stone to get. In the old Legacy version, you had to mine the small boulders that gave you iron and different resources. That is all gone. You just mine stone now. Doesn't matter where you get it from. Just mine stone. So this is, like I said, a really good place to get some stone. You have to use the stone pickaxe, of course, on this, and then the shovel on the clay. But this is what I'll do at night sometimes. And use your time wisely if you can. So I'm going to harvest... I'm going to go for about 250 stone, I think, because I need to make some feathers also. Some arrows also. Of course, while you're mining, you might have a zombie kind of wander over, so just take care of them. If you want, that was an insta-kill because of the sneak damage. And my pickaxe is just about dead. I think it's going to go out. Yep, it just went out. This item needs repair. So you go down to the item and then repair. So this takes one piece of stone. Now, if you don't, it'll tell you the item you need to repair. So let's click on repair this. At the bottom right, it says I need a short iron pipe to repair the machine gun. But let's say the bone. I'm going to need a bone to repair it. So if you don't know what item it takes to repair it, just click on repair. And it'll tell you, I just repaired my bow. So if you, like I said, you don't know what it is, it'll tell you. Try to keep things repaired if you can. I also recommend keeping an eye on things. Sometimes you unlocked, let's say the stone axe, the next stone axe, and you didn't realize it. It'll tell you what tier you can craft right here. I can only craft a tier 1 right now. So if I could craft a tier 2, it would say right here. So keep an eye on that. I try to... That's another thing I like to do at night is check my weapons and see if I can craft a better item, a better shovel, a better stone axe, a better pipe machine gun. That will help you a lot in the long run, having better items, have you better harvesting, better damage to the zombies. Okay, I got about 250 stone, so I'm going to go here, go to recipes. I'm going to make some cobblestone rocks. Also, if you see these little icons here, that means you have to have that particular workstation to craft it. So for crushed sand, you need the cement mixer. And I'll try to find some other stuff. I don't think I have anything unlocked that has the workbench on it. Everything is locked. But sometimes you'll see a campfire here, a workbench, a forge. That just tells you you need that particular item to craft it. If it doesn't have anything, you can craft it out of your backpack though. Let's craft 200 cobblestone rocks. And then let's go over to here. Let's grab our feathers. I'll grab the little cobblestone rocks that I have. And then let's make some more stone arrows. Having those will be nice. I can make 51. Let's just craft them. Said having those on hand will be nice. And then what I'll go ahead and do, this is the layer they're going to attack. They're going to attack this middle layer right here. They're not really going to attack the bottom. Sometimes they'll stack on each other's heads or hit up and they'll hit that. But the main one you want to upgrade initially is this second tier right here. All that, and then you can save your cobblestone rocks for your main base if you want. And then you can also start working on your main base if you want. You can start I'm out of wood, but you can start crafting some building blocks and maybe craft a better little cabin or something over here. And maybe I'll do that the next episode. Or you can find a POI to stay in. Sometimes you get lucky and you have a POI that appears next to the trader that works out really well. But in this case, I didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. I tried to cover as much as I could day one. Now I'm not going to cover everything, so there will be a day two that I'm going to cover more. We'll actually do a quest for the trader. I'll show you guys what I look for in POIs, what I do. We'll try to keep unlocking things. We'll read books. We'll keep an eye on our skills. I haven't really showed you guys the map. You can move around with the right stick like this. You can zoom out with the left trigger. Zoom in with the right trigger. You can place waypoints also by pushing A or X. And you can save a waypoint. You can label it. You can also do just a quick waypoint if you want. And of course, all your traders are already marked here, but you can mark if you want to see where you're at on the map. Like this is where we spawned in. There's that little cabin where we spawned in and we traveled all the way up here. I will say these initial wrecked towns are usually very small. There is usually multiple wrecks. Multiple of these small towns, and once you do 10 quests, he'll give you the bicycle, and he'll unlock tier 2 quests where you'll go see Trader Jin in the burnt biome. So, all right, that's my cue. I'm gonna sign off, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. See you guys. Bye.